Hey, whippersnappers, this is Tortimer the Gray. Welcome back to another very exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown Gray version. Today we are finishing off the gym leader circuit of the Gray region. We are doing our 8th and final gym badge here today, and it is a fire gym. And a lot of you guys turned out for our last gym of this series, and so I want to thank you guys all right off the bat for doing so. We are starting off here with gym trainer Arctic Animal, or Mac, and he had a very fun little team here. Brought in Metacham as kind of an off-type variant there, which didn't go too bad. We had a kind of a mixed bag this week. I won a lot, I lost a couple, but all in all, it was a great final gym battle for this series. And again, thank you all so much for coming out. Toadette comes up against the Rotom Heat, and I liked seeing the Rotom there. Several of you guys had the Rotom. I think I used a Rotom in every tier, for the most part, that we had in this series, so it was cool to see a couple of them pop up on your guys' teams for the final gym battle here. I've always liked Rotom itself. I'd never really used the type variants before, and so it was kind of cool to be able to do that. Toadette puts Rotom to sleep, though, is able to finish it off with the Mach Punches there. Toadette's going to come out at this point, bring Dopey in, who's going to take the Psychic there. Dopey's a good specially defensive Pokemon, and just defensive Pokemon in general, and can easily take some of those hits. Didn't take that Shadow Ball too well, but was able to get the Thunder Wave off enough to bring Toph in. Toph can handle the Shadow Balls pretty well, and gets the rocks going there. So a couple of new additions to the team this week. Well, I think it was basically Blackavar, Toadette, and Whirlpool stayed on. And I think, besides the fact that we've used Toph in the past, and Dopey is based off of the Slowpoke in my current Pokemon Yellow Dice Lock run, I think those three are all new, at least to this series this week, if I remember correctly. It's been a long week and a lot of battles, so I've seen them a lot, so I may be screwing that up, but I think those three are new this week. But Dopey did really good. Dopey was good. It makes me even more excited to use a Slowbro in the yellow Pokemon Yellow version. Hopefully, I can get my Pokemon all leveled up enough so that he can survive long enough to do that there. But Dopey is going to take a fatal blow here from the Mega Metacham, and then Toadette's going to come in with the Mach Punch, be able to finish off there, leaving them just with their Darmanitan, and Darmanitan's going to come in and die on the rocks that Toph set up. So a very good little battle there. Thank you so much for your battle this week, Mac. And Mac actually came and hung out with me most of the week. Half the time I was on, Mac and I were chatting on Showdown, because apparently Mac was just around. So there we go. Thank you so much, Mac, for participating this week and for keeping me company. I appreciate it. Alrighty, guys. That was gym trainer number 1 of like 9 or so. So let's get to it. We got a lot to do today. Here we go. Alrighty, guys. Here we go. Battle number 2 up against gym trainer Espresso Cat. And ECat leads off with the Macargo, throwing up those Stealth Rocks there. I use Dopey as my lead for the most part. Normally, I had been leading with Whirlpool to get the Will-O-Wisp off, but the Will-O-Wisp doesn't do me a whole lot of good here in the Fire Gym, so I was leading off with Dopey to get the Thunder Wave off at least, get some sort of status effect there, and then bring Toph in to get the rocks set up at some point as well, so that works out pretty nicely, and Toph's going to go down to the Arcanine after killing, I think both Macargo and Lumiere there. Well, his actually was named Lumiere. I was thinking, wait, no, it's called Chandelure, but ECat had named his Lumiere similar to mine. So there we go. Cuddle of Death comes in and is going to Mega Evolve. Whirlpool's going to take a hard Dark Pulse, but be able to get the Hydro Pump off and finish off the Mega Houndoom there, leaving them just with Simba, their Pyroar, and the Hyper Voice is going to come in, finish off Whirlpool, but then Blackavar is going to come up and going to take that super effective hidden power, but then is going to turn around and land the Earth Power there, finishing it off. So Blackavar, our starter, wins the day for us there. And thank you so much, ECat, for coming in. I know you had trouble finding even a full team of Fire-type Pokemon that you actually liked enough to battle with, so it's funny. Well, we'll talk about this in the next battle because we really got to get going. But thank you so much, ECat. I appreciate the continued support on this series and the channel at large. And loved the little team you put together there. A lot of those are actually some of my favorite Pokemon, so very cool. Here we go. Alright guys, here we go, battle number 3 against Thunder Rainbow. And as I was about to start talking about in the last battle, it's kind of amazing how underrepresented the fire type is. I think I may have made comment about this at some point recently, maybe in my Pokemon Yellow run, because somebody made a comment about it there, I think, potentially. But anyway, so I'm apologize if it was hard for you guys to really come up with a great team of fire type Pokemon to put up, because really, it's one of the most criminally underrated, or underrepresented, I should say, rather, types on the type chart. It's just so much of the types, you know, you look and you've got like hundreds of water Pokemon, but literally there's like maybe 20 fire Pokemon or something to that effect, and it's like, I think Gen 1 is the largest concentrations of fire types added at any one time. Every other generation you get, you know, 1 or 2 or so, you know, nothing, you know, and sometimes that's even counting the starter. I think, I could be wrong, but in, you know, some of these generations, it's like you get maybe 2 fire Pokemon besides the starter, whereas you get, you know, dozens of water Pokemon. So if it was a little difficult for you guys to get teams together, I apologize. I know for sure that, you know, while you guys put great teams together, we didn't obviously have as much variety as we might have in other weeks, just because there's not that many, you know, viable fire-type Pokemon, fully evolved fire-type Pokemon. So, it is what it is. But you guys did a great job this week. Thunder came in and did very well. The Mega Houndoom comes in, and this one does finish off Dopey there. Blackavar comes in at that point and is going to get Will-O-Wisp, but Blackavar is a special attacker, so it doesn't do much to us, and Blackavar is able to finish off the Mega Houndoom. And then Darmanitan's going to come in and Earthquake Blackavar will then go down, and Whirlpool will come in, immune to that Earthquake, and throw up the Hydro Pump, finishing off the Darmanitan. So there we go. Thank you so much for the battle this week, Thunder. It's nice to have you back after a long time away. It's always good to see a friendly face turn back up. So thank you so much, Thunder, for participating this week. And one more gym trainer down. Lots to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. So let's get into it. This episode's gonna be like an hour long. Here we go, guys. Alrighty, guys. Here we go up against gym trainer Nougat. And Nougat leads off with Charmu, his favorite starter there, making an appearance here in the gym. Dopey is able to get the Scald off and get the burn going, which is going to work for us there. The fairly neutered Garchomp's going to come out, and Blackavar is going to take a hard Brave Bird and go down. So that's a little disappointing. I wouldn't have expected Blackavar to go out to a single Brave Bird, but that's life, I suppose. Charmu is going to come in and throw up the Toxic on Whirlpool there. The Hydro Pump's going to land and finally take out the Garchomp there, so we got finally blood on their side going. Then the shiny Ninetales comes in, sets up the Drought Sunny Day, and is going to quickly Will-O-Wisp Arnold there, but we're going to land the Stone Edge, and it's going to kill anyway, so that works out pretty nicely. Ninetales are fairly squishy, and Arnold is unfortunately not going to survive a bout with the Phoenix there, which I wouldn't generally expect him to, but Dopey's going to go up against Jangles, who's going to get paralyzed there, and Jangles is going to do a U-turn, which is going to do pretty decent damage considering Slowbro's defenses, and Shells is going to come in and take a Scald, but with the sun up, the water attacks are obviously doing fairly minimal, so I go for the Psyshock there, just seeing, well, let's give that a shot. But the Torkoal's sticking in there, no trouble at all. So I bring Dopey out, I bring Toph in, thinking that we'll just give it a shot. The Demon Lizard evolves into Charizard X, and so I have gone for the Stealth Rocks because I wasn't really sure what Charizard we were going to be dealing with. But I don't get another chance to attack it again, as the Dragon Claw, being super effective stab at that point, is going to be enough to finish off Toph. Whirlpool is able to land one Hydro Pump before Charizard is able to set up the Roost there, so pretty tough opponent on that end. Toadette comes in, takes a Flare Blitz and goes down. Really no chance of that working out. I brought Toadette. Toadette was actually pretty useful considering this is a fire gym, but not useful in that instance. She just went down. Demon Lizard, continuing with the roosting there. I threw up the paralyze, or the paralysis, well, yeah, the thing is paralyzed now. That Dragon Claw doing so much to Dopey there, and the Scald not doing near enough, especially with the Toxic compounding now. Nougat can basically just wait me out, because I think both Dopey and Whirlpool were Toxic at this point. Yeah, the Stealth Rocks is basically going to finish off Whirlpool. We missed that last Hydro Pump. And then the Flare Blitz lands to finish off Whirlpool. So one of my losses this week went to Nougat, which was well earned. Very cool little team you put together there, Nougat, and you always give us a challenge, which I appreciate. So thank you so much for participating this week. I truly appreciate it, even if I went down. It was a fun battle nonetheless, so I'll take it one way or the other. So thank you so much for battling this week, Gym Trainer Nougat. Let's check out what the rest of you guys have in store. Alrighty guys, here we go up against Gym Trainer Yesh, and Yesh leads off with the Ninetales there, which sets up the sun. Dopey comes in at that point to take the Psychic attack, throwing up that Thunder Wave, getting the Paralysis up. It's a useful status effect. It allows us to hopefully get a free switch in like we just did with Blackavar there, and then to outspeed and finish off Phoenix with a single Earth Power. Blackavar is going to take a hidden power from the Mega Manectric and is going to finish it off with an Earth Power there. Sucker Punch lands on the Slowbro, not enough to take it down though, and the Fire Blast lands and is going to take him out. Then Toph, the Garchomp, comes in, throws up that toxic damage. I figure that's probably going to be important on such a bulky Pokemon like Slowbro, which can just continue to slack off and things like that usually. Throwing out that Scald. Toph, thankfully, being part Dragon type, is not super effective weak against water, so while it's doing a decent chunk of damage, and they do get the burn there, at least we don't have to, go out in 2 hits or anything like that. And then we're able to Dragon Tail out the Slowbro, Earthquake the Heatran. Slowbro comes in, and thanks to Regenerator, I think, is the one, it's able to be back up to full health, basically, on the switch in, takes a little damage from Ron. Still doing enough to survive. Sorry, I had something pop up there in the middle of the recording. Freaking iTunes update or some crap just shows up in the middle of my window. You didn't miss much. Toph comes in against the Slowbro. I throw up the Bullet Seed, which is going to be enough to take it out, especially with the critical hit on the second Bullet Seed. So that works out pretty nicely. And then Darmanitan comes back in, takes some rocks damage, and then gets Mach Punched in the face, and Toadette is able to take it out there. So, Yesh did pretty good there. So thank you so much for the battle, Yesh. I appreciate you coming out and having an interesting little team there. It's cool what Pokemon you guys choose as your off types. Yesh had a Mega Manectric and a Slowbro, and we've seen a lot of interesting Pokemon out here today. So thank you so much, Yesh. I appreciate it. Let's jump into the next battle, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we go up against Gym Trainer Neuron, and he leads off with his Heatran as I lead off with Dopey, throwing up the Toxic as I throw up the Paralysis there. So that works out for, I guess, both of us. We got our status things to land. Heatran takes some damage from the Skull, but not enough. So I'm going to switch out, bring Arnold in. This is honestly why Arnold was even on the team, was worrying about Heatrans. And so I brought Arnold in, and he was able to handle that pretty well. I think that's one of the few times he's actually been super useful this week, but he did Stone Edge somebody earlier as well or something, so there is that. But Dopey is going to slack off a little bit there to get its health back up, taking a Fire Blast from the Infernape, doesn't do a ton, and the Psyshock is going to finish off the Infernape there with the critical hit to boot. I'm not sure if that mattered or not on the Infernape. I couldn't honestly tell you, but my guess would be that Dopey would have still survived long enough to finish off the Infernape and then die immediately to the Altaria, so I don't think it affected a whole lot in terms of the battle. Blackavar is able to finish off the Altaria, take a Dragon Pulse from the Charizard, and throw up that Sludge Wave, which is going to do great damage and allow us to be in range for the Sucker Punch to finish off Charizard on the next turn. And then Darmanitan is going to come in, get Earth Powered, and then Victini is going to come in to be finished off here shortly. The Sucker Punch does about half damage, able to finish off Blackavar there, but then Toph comes in and throws up the Earthquake to finish off the stat-reduced Victini. So Whew! A fun little battle there. Really, really fun. Thank you so much, Gym Trainer Neuron, for participating week in and week out, and for sticking around on the channel in general for so long. I appreciate it very, very much. Whew! We got a lot more to still get through. Here we go. Whew! Alrighty, guys, here we go up against Gym Trainer Admiral Mulot, and this was another one of those battles this week that got the better of me, to be sure. Admiral Mulot really brought it this week, and they only even brought one off-type Pokemon, although it was a doozy. It was a doozy. So Toph comes in, gets those rocks up. I figure at least if he's going to be playing the switching game with his team of fire types, we might as well make him pay for it. So we get the rocks up there. Don't have anybody with spikes or anything like that, but Toph at least has the rocks going, and unfortunately, while the Torkoal is going to rapid spin there, it does take good damage from the rough helmet, or the rocky helmet, and the rough skin of Garchomp. So we are up against now Mega Diancie, which has Magic Bounce. I actually checked the ability of it when it came out, but then it Mega Evolves and gets Magic Bounce. So it had like Clear Body before that, so I wasn't worried about the bounce. I've never used one of these stupid things. I hate, don't get me started on legendaries again, let's not do that. But it Mega Evolves and bounced my rocks back at me, so that was disappointing. Whirlpool's gonna get the Pain Split off here, do a little bit of damage to this thing, because I did not admittedly plan very well for Fairy types this week. Blackavar is really the only person who had anything of even remote use against it. But we were able to throw up the Scald, which was super effective. That wasn't even a crit, and Dopey's Scald was able to finish the thing off. So I was actually in the middle of eating lunch while we were having this battle, and I didn't even realize the thing had died until like I was sitting there for a minute. It was like, oh hey, it's dead. I need to switch into a new Pokemon, because I was just expecting that thing to sweep through the team. So Toadette throws up the Spore here up against the Torkoal. Gonna get that Mach Punch off, which does pretty decent damage against the defensive Torkoal, and another one's gonna finish off there. So, you know, Grass Pokemon up against a team of Fire types, that's gonna work, right? No, it's not. We finish off the Torkoal, but then the Volcarona comes in and finishes off Toadette, no problem. That was a bad battle for me. That was the low point of the week for sure. Ooh, that Mega Diancie, though, got the better of me and took out some key players there, and yeah. So good job, Admiral Mulot. You kicked my butt this week. So absolutely, good job. You earned it. Alrighty, we got 2 more gym trainer battles and then the gym leaders. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go up against gym trainer David Kahn, and I want to take a quick second. I don't think I actually thanked... I thanked Admiral Mulot for the good battle, but thanks again for participating this last week. Now we're up against gym trainer David Kahn, and up against his Lord of the Rings themed team as he brings in the Nazgul, Legolas, the Infernape, because of the ears. Cause them ears. Yeah. Blackavar is able to finish off Legolas with a Earth Power. And then up against the Talonflame is able to get it going with the Sludge Wave and the Sucker Punch, finishing off the bird Pokemon right out of Mirkwood. Comes in, finishes off Blackavar with a Psychic there. At that point, I'm going to bring in Toph, because I know Toph will at least resist the Psychic and pretty much everything else that thing has. So I wasn't too worried about it. The Sauron comes in, though, at that point and is going to Dragon Pulse me, which I didn't expect. And gonna get Toph pretty low before Toph Dragon Tails it out, brings in straight out of Mirkwood, who dies on the rocks, and then is able to finish off the Heatran. Toph then is going to die to the Nazgul, at which point Arnold comes in with the Stone Edge and does some good work there. That critted, though I very much doubt that the crit mattered on that one. Gimli, which was very aptly named, is able to do good damage to Arnold there. We get its Flame Plate knocked off, but I don't know that it's going to be enough, and it obviously is not. Arnold goes down to Gimli there, at which point Dopey comes in, takes an Earthquake, no trouble, and throws up the Psyshock, which will finish off the Embor, and gym trainer David Kahn goes down. So thank you so much for participating this week, David Kahn. I appreciate it. You've been a pretty consistent participant since you started up several weeks ago, and I appreciate your continued support. It's always awesome to get fresh faces in here and have them stick around, which you have done, which is awesome. So thank you so much for the battle this week. Let's check out the last gym trainer and then head on in the gym battle. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we go up against the final gym trainer battle of today. We lead off with Dopey against the Torkoal, who's going to throw up the Thunder Wave there, and then throw up the Scald, which is going to almost take out the Torkoal, but not before Dopey gets a little drowsy there, and we finish out the Torkoal, but at the same time Dopey is going to fall asleep here. And so that doesn't work out very well, so I'm going to switch Arnold into Atlas here, as it sets up the Quiver Dance and throws up the Fiery Dance, doing pretty good damage to Arnold there. We throw out the Stone Edge and we get lucky that it lands, but unfortunately not enough to kill, so Arnold has to come in the next turn with the Mach Punch, which thankfully it had, and finish off the Volcarona there. At that point, Charizard Y comes in, and this thing is quick and deadly, and to be feared for sure. At that point, I set up the Stealth Rocks again, so if they get their switch game on, they're at least going to have to take some damage. And in a Fire-type gym, that works out pretty well, because they take at least like a quarter damage or whatever from the rocks initially, so that works out. Any switching with the Dragon Tail is also going to help there, and then we get the Earthquake going to finish off the Magmortar. Charizard comes back in, sets up the Sun again, throws up that Solar Beam at Toph, which will finish off the Garchomp there. At which point Toadette comes in, and we're going to throw up that Mach Punch, just hoping to get some damage off on this thing. Not anticipating it to actually defeat it, but figuring I've got priority, I need to use it now while I can, because I don't know how much longer it's going to stick around. And then Dopey comes in, and Dopey's going to take a Solar Beam and go down, at which point Blackavar comes up and is going to throw up the Sucker Punch, which, thanks to Toadette's Mach Punch, is going to be enough to finish off the Charizard. And then Chandelure comes in from the rocks, and again, Sucker Punch able to finish off there. So always good to have some priority in your back pocket, because you never know when you're going to desperately need it, and we did there, obviously, today. So thank you so much for the great battle. This is GBL for Turtles or Shunosaurus, and thank you so much. You've had some great battles the last couple of weeks you've been able to get in here, so I appreciate the challenge. You did a great job with your team, so thank you so much for participating. Alrighty guys, now we are jumping into the final battle of today, the final gym battle of this series, the gym trainer for the Fire Gym. Let's get to it, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, today we're going up against Gym Trainer Epic Big Nick, and Nick is going to throw out the Heatran there. Dopey is going to come out and throw up the Thunder Wave, so we finally land that after the Protect. And then the Dragon type Goo Goo comes in, and Dopey's going to come back on out. We're going to send Blackavar in. Blackavar is going to resist that Sludge Wave for sure, and as well he's going to have the Ice Beam, which you can throw up here, which does less than half, which is a little bit surprising, although their Ice Beam does a fair bit more than half, and Blackavar goes down, so that's disappointing. Don't have a lot to deal with Dragon types on this team either, I realize, so Fairies and Dragon types I'm a little short on, although we do have some other tricks up our sleeves, so we give those a go here, as we throw up the Burn on the Dragonite, hoping to at least get some progressive damage off on it, and that Bolt Switch does almost nothing considering that Dragonite is in fact weak to electric types, being a flying type. Although I think Dragon might resist it, so it may be, you know, yeah, I guess it's neutral, but still, only 8% damage there from a stab move. That's something to take home and be proud about. So, Whirlpool's going to force out the Charizard there. We throw up the Volt Switch, which again just barely chips away at the Dragonite's damage. Of course, they are behind the screen there, so that's probably contributing a bit to their ability to withstand our moves. And the Dragonite is going to start throwing up some stuff against Toph. Toph's going to get that Dragon Tail off, which is going to do good damage, and switch into some other Pokemon which are going to take damage from the rocks, and then able to finish off the Charizard with the Dragon Tail there, forcing a switch into the Heatran, who Toph's going to be able to Earthquake and finish off pretty easily. And then the Dragonite's going to have to come back in and take some decent damage from the rocks, but is going to finish off Toph, so our main remaining weapon against the Dragon types goes down there. At that point, Toadette throws up the Mach Punch, able to finish off the Dragonite, and then they bring in Zorak, who again, Toadette is able to handle fairly well, but they switch out, bringing in the Fire-type Delphox, and Delphox being also part Psychic, I get a little worried and I switch Toadette out, not really wanting to risk Toadette at this point, especially with that Zorok still on the field. And so we're going to get burned there with Dopey after taking some decent damage from that flamethrower, and able to throw up the Scald there on the Goodra, and unfortunately Dopey will then go down, leaving us 3-on-3. So battle's just heating up. Whirlpool is going to throw up that Will-O-Wisp and take a hard hit from the Goo Goodra there. Some of these names, Nick. Hydro Pump misses, and Sludge Wave's going to finish off Whirlpool. So Arnold's going to come in and take a Dragon Pulse, which he's going to handle pretty well, get the knockoff going, and is actually going to be able to finish off the Goodra there. Wasn't sure if that was going to happen, but there it went. Then Arnold's going to come in with the Mach Punch, get the Delphox in a decent range, and then go down to the Psychic. So again, we've got Toadette, last man standing in the Fire Gym, able to finish off with the Mach Punch there. And then they just have the Zorok left, and we're going to be able to Mach Punch that into Oblivion as well. Whew! So, a very close, very long battle there, but we were able to pull it out. Thank you so much for participating this week, Nick. I truly appreciate it. A great final gym battle for this series. Couldn't have asked for any better. And so thank all of you guys who participated in this segment of this series. Always coming back. The gym battles were always usually a little more represented than some of the other ones if we just had a random route or something like that. But I appreciate all of the support from everybody nonetheless. Now let's figure out what we're doing after this battle, because now we're heading towards the Elite Four, but we don't know what obstacles will lie in our way. So let's go figure it out now together. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we are with our spreadsheet. Now we have to figure out exactly how our path to the Elite Four is going to look coming from our final gym battle. I have replaced, as you can see, Gym, which was number 5, has been replaced with the Elite Four. So when this pops up, it'll trigger the end of the series, where we will no longer be randomizing. It'll just be, okay, Elite Four number 1, Elite Four number 2, 3, 4, and then Champion. And so that's how that will go. But our trek to the Elite Four could be fraught with many perilous journeys. So 1 through 6, let's go ahead and randomize that, and we will generate and see that we have a number 2, which is a root trainer. All right. It's been a little while since we've had to do a root trainer, so that works out. I guess we've got to get on Victory Road. So here's how this is going to work, though. Generally speaking, the tier switch would happen as soon as the gym of that next level is done. But I want the Elite Four members to be special. Now, so I got the Elite Four members as Ubers, and then the Champion is going to be the Anything Goes tier, but generally speaking, the way this has currently been set up, we would do Ubers until we hit the Elite Four, and then once we finish the Elite Four, then we would change tiers. But the way I want to do it is I want to continue in OU, because I want the Elite Four to be something special and elite. And so anything that happens until we hit the Elite Four role is going to remain in OU, which I know a lot of people aren't going to be super excited about. Trust me, I am not super excited about being stuck in OU either, but I think it makes the most sense, right? So that works. Now, we need to figure out what kind of route we're going to be battling on. So it's going to be OU. Remember, we're still in OU, an OU root trainer battle, and the setup for this, or the environment, will be 1 to 12... 8, so snow, another snow battle. No, we're redoing that. We did way too much snow previously. All right, well this one fits. All right, cave. So it's as if we're on Victory Road. So you guys go ahead and put together your cave root trainer teams, and I will see you guys all back out here this week, starting tomorrow morning, and we will see how our journey to the Elite Four is going to look. Yeah, there we go. So make your cave OU. So basically, think about Victory Road, I guess. Get your best ace trainer and, hiker and, all those other guys who show up on the Victory Road. Get those kinds of teams together, and I will see you guys out there this week, and then we'll see where we go from there. Thank you guys so much for watching and for participating. This truly has been one of my, the second, I guess technically the second subscriber engagement series I've done. But it's been so much fun, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm glad that my initial conceptualization of this that I was running through my head before I started it. I'm so glad that it's worked out this well. It's been so much fun getting to hang out with you guys every day, for the most part during the week. And yeah, so put together your OU Victory Road Root Trainer teams, and I will see you guys all out there this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Tortimer the Grain. You guys have been great. Make sure to leave those likes, comments, subscriptions for me, guys, and I'll see you all out there next time. If you guys haven't ever participated in the series before, I always say this and I almost forgot. If you haven't participated in the series before but you would like to, there is information in the description down below on how you can get to Pokemon Showdown. It's a free online battle simulator. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to register for anything. You just go in, pick a name out. You don't even have to create a password if you don't want to. Just pick a name, start battling. Build your teams, get going. How you can find me during the week is in the description down below. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments, and I'll try to get to you, or figure it out for you as best I can. I get to all my questions, so I don't know why I said that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.